Okay, so today I'm going to try and polish up the edge of this granite I cut the most cheap way I can do it. So here's what it looks like. I'm going to wet it first and then put the 40 grit grinding polish wheel thing on it first. And I got that from Harbor Freight along with this little Drill Master angle grinder for $14.99, and this got for like 14 bucks too, I think. And the reviews are pretty good, so we're gonna see. The only problem I'm worried about is that this is 11,000 RPMs, and the reviews I've looked at say don't do more than say around 2,800. So we're just gonna go easy, see how it works. I did put the handle on, and I'm gonna wet it across, which will make it look pretty for a moment. And don't forget your eye, ear, and breathing protection. So I just did the first few inches, that right there where it looks dry, because I'm chicken, and I can feel the difference already. Definitely is smoother. So I'm gonna keep going. Wish I could hold the phone while I did it. That just took a few seconds. Okay, so far so good. You can see right here, I had to stop my blade when I was making my original cut, so it kind of bumps out a little bit, and I was able to definitely grind off that bump that was there before. Right here, it could go a little more, so I'm gonna try and even that out even a little bit more because it got a little wide. So it's coming along pretty good. I think it's gonna be successful. We'll see. It doesn't take long at all. Just make sure to keep the angle on the grinder straight like that. If you bend it, you're going to do something crooked, unless of course you want to hit these edges and soften them up a bit, which is what I did, and I'm going to do some more of that. And one other thing I wanted to mention was that I've tried to, instead of go full speed, is just slow it down, kind of just give it a little gas and then pull back to keep the RPMs lower. Seems to be working pretty good, so I'm gonna stick with that. And I'm gonna work this edge right here. You can see it's kind of got a lot of edges in it. And then I'm gonna switch the grit to higher number. And one more thing, I was a little nervous about this beveled section here, so I went nice and easy on that. This is the first time I've ever used an angle grinder, so if this works out for me, anybody can do it. So we're on the 220 grit. We had to skip one pad because my phone got too hot in the sun. This is the progress after the 220 grit. This part's a little wet still, but this part is fully dry, so you can see it's starting to shine up. So we're moving on to the 400 grit. And if you're like me, you didn't know how to use this thing till today. So this ridged edge goes on the bottom. Just hand tighten it. And then there's a button that holds everything in place while you tighten it the final way with this tool. But I'm going to show you the button next. So you just put that in there and tighten it. But see how the wheel's turning? This button here, just press it in and hold it down and turn the wheel. And when you turn the wheel, you'll hear it kind of click in. There it is. So now it's tightenable. You don't want to do it too tight, just a little bit. I'm not sure if the camera's picking this up, but some parts are starting to get a little shiny and some parts are still dull as we go along. And if you remember from the beginning, I had a huge chunk taken out of there and it was crooked, so I spent a lot of time with the very first grit to get this even. And that's what that's good for. Now we're just shining it up little by little, which is much quicker. So every time I get ready to go to the next grit, I just keep a wet paper towel here. Just keep wetting it every so often when it dries up before I start grinding again. And don't be afraid to go around curve the edges a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything. And I have been using it at full RPMs and it's been fine. So we're on the final grit, and this is the, what is it? What does it say? 600. So the 600, I've been wetting it every time, and it's starting to really shine up. I'll show you that in a minute. I say just feel it. You'll feel if there's a difference in the smoothness, then you've made an improvement. Move on to the next grit. And if you're trying to save money, then this is the way to go. 15 bucks, 15 bucks, and like an hour and a half of your time. Okay, this is a little hard to see because of the light, but this isn't wet anymore, but it's a lot shinier than it was. I'm sure you could get a higher grit and do an even better job, but this was the cheap version and I'm super happy with the result. I'll show you it once it's installed. Okay, so here's the final result of how the edge turned out after cutting the granite and polishing it with the polishing wheels from Harbor Freight and a cheap little angle grinder, and I'm actually really pleased with how it turned out. And I'm not sure if the phone quite picks it up or the camera quite picks it up, how good it looks, but it's actually not bad at all. I would do it again. So if you decide to do it, good luck to you. I hope you have same results.